Hey everyone, it's DeagleBeagle, and today we're gonna go over Iron Crown. Now, you may be thinking this set's weird because you might have seen Jamie Boyd's video, and he recommends stuff that's totally different. Well, not totally different, but I mean the Terror type being psychic, I never agreed with because you're keeping your same defensive typing for a lot of things that's super affected already, like Flutter Main can just shadow ball it whether you Terra or not, and then you're forced to like protect. And to me, that makes no sense. Like, yeah, you outspeed it with this set he has, but Tachyon Cutter's not gonna one shot it. Look at the damage calculator. Like, let's just say for the sake of argument, um, I mean, yeah, if they use almost no bulk with Flutter Main, but like, who's gonna use almost no bulk with Flutter Main? Almost everyone uses a decent amount of bulk, like a decent amount of HP and defense usually. So you're not gonna one shot Flutter Main like 90% of the time. You're not gonna one shot it with this set. Maybe not 90% because there are some people that use like no bulk, but like 80% of the time you're not gonna one shot it unless you get a crit or something. So that is not gonna work, Jamie Boyd. I don't. I'll never agree. Probably never agree with Terra Psychic. I know it gives it more offensive potential, but it just you don't want to keep your Psychic typing when there's stuff like Incineroar and Fluttermane are at like the top of the usage. So what else does he
You can
recommend?
get Terra Blast.
He recommend first of all, I think every single Iron Crown should have Focus Blast or a move that super affects Incineroar, because if you don't, it's just gonna wall you completely, and it's a very common Pokemon. And now there might be an exception to that if you use a Pokemon that counters Intimidate, like like Defiant or something. Pokemon like Galarian Zapdos. But unless you're using that, you should have Focus Blast on like every single Iron Crown, because I don't think it gets another decent hard hitting move um, that hits Incineroar. Unless you use Terra Blast something, but meh. I would just risk the accuracy with Focus Blast, even though it's kind of crap. I mean, I guess you could technically use Terra Blast with something that super affects Incineroar. You could even use, like, I guess I'll include that kind of set. Something. First of all, what is this thing weak to? Someone was arguing with me and saying Metagross should be A tier, and I was like, well, what would you say if someone said, well, if I was going to use a Pokemon like Metagross, I would just use Iron Crown instead. And he didn't really have an answer for that. So, yeah, I just knew I was right about the tier list I had, where this is A, but Metagross is B because it outclasses Metagross. It's a special attacker. It's not affected by Intimidate, so it's comparable to Clear Body in most cases, even though Clear Body does more than that. But anyways, it's like that, and you get this ability which you can use Booster Energy with. You probably should use Booster Energy on Iron Crown because, I mean, you could use like Specs or something and get it, or Life Orb with. I mean, nah, I wouldn't probably use Life Orb though, unless it's an item clause issue. Just use Booster Energy because you probably won't switch in and out a lot with this Pokemon, and the recoil is not probably worth it. Specs, maybe, if you use a defensive Terra. So let's go over the second way to use it after I go over the first way, I guess. You could even use Protect over Calm Mind, that's fine too. I just feel like this Pokemon sometimes has good defensive typing to where, even without tearing, to where you can just Calm Mind and set up on them. And it helps also versus when they protect and stuff too, or switch out. you just set up your offense in bulk and then hit them hard right after. Wait to see what they do instead of like see like they might just switch in Incineroar when you're trying to expand your force. So you might Calm Mind and while they're whatever Raging Bolt while they switch your ally into Incineroar, and then next turn you can Focus Blast and might not even need Terra Fighting. But I like Terra Fighting with it because it boosts up Focus Blast and you're not weak to like Dark anymore. You're resistant to knockoff from um, Incineroar, and with Booster Energy, knockoff's not doing that much anyways. Um, well, I guess it's super effects, but I mean it only has 65 power instead of like 97.5, and it's just funny how they list stuff like usually useless moves. I don't know how they select what's usually useless because it seems like something that's usually useless should never include high powered moves, or I don't get it. Maybe they include moves that you need a special team for, like Solar Blade you need Sun for or whatever, but and then maybe they include the new moves. I don't know. Or include moves that recharge. I guess that's fine, but uh, I guess I'm mostly beefing with the fact that they say Tachyon Cutter is a usually useless move. It's not. It's probably just some glitch with the general programming of stuff. Okay, so that might be updated. Calm Mind or Protect. You probably should have these the first three moves, and then the fourth either probably Calm Mind or Protect, and then you would want to use this obviously with Indeedee and get the expanding force boost and hit both targets, both opposing Pokemon. And oh, I was gonna cover something that has good defensive typing for the Terra and Super Effects Incineroar. So let's just look at it. It has the super effective first of all, so either we already got fighting, so something else. Ground. Ground doesn't help it that much because it's not weak to electric. So let's see. Rock. It is weak to fire, and rock would help versus that, but it would still be weak to ground, and that's not good. And other things. Like maybe if you used. Well, oh yeah, I think we were talking about Terra Blast with it, huh? So I suppose you could use Terra Blast with it, but besides just fire types, but fire types normally you can just expanding force, but in Incineroar's case, it has a rare dual typing. I guess Terra Rock Blast would be alright. It depends on your team, and a better Terra though might be like water because it has less weaknesses, and it's still super effects Incineroar and Heatran. So I'm gonna say if you don't like Focus Blast missing, then use Terra Water Blast. And you can either keep Calm Mind or Protect or whatever. Um, in fact, it's possible that the Terra Water one might be better for Calm Minding than the Fighting one because it'll resist stuff like in general better, like Heatran's Heat Wave or something. You set up on it with Terra Water and Calm Mind, and then next turn Terra Blast or who knows what. So that I personally prefer using this Pokemon to have more offense and using it uh, for just as much offense as possible. You probably don't need Timid with it actually. Maybe if you're just super paranoid that they're going to use a Jolly Urshifu, but normally if they really want a fast Urshifu, they're going to use a Scarf one. So I don't know about a max speed one. I think I had it just to make sure it outspeeds like Landorus T and stuff, but ultimately we should include probably a modest one. Yeah, a modest one is gonna hit way harder, and I forget if this one kills Fluttermane or not with modest. Wait. Oh, I didn't even have. Wait, I thought I had booster energy on this thing. My bad. This whole time I didn't have it? Jeez. Okay, so. Wow. So you could either use timid or modest, but it has to boost special attack. Okay, no, I did calculate it right before. It didn't boost special attack before on Jamie Boyd's set. That's why, yeah, that's why I did calculate it right.
Focus
Because
has to be focus blast. Force is going to be so strong that you down attack
let's go back.
echoing a Chien-Pao through.
Yeah, his is speed raising. Yeah, okay, this one's not speed raising though. It's it's special attack raising. Wait, why is he fairy? Um, you could be fair, yeah, if you're using it like this, but why would you use it like this when Incineroar's just gonna wall you? Or like a heat ran. I would prefer coverage and drop either Calm Mind or Protect for coverage. I don't agree with that set on Iron Crown. I don't agree with that set either.
Because
So
expanding
the
forces
fact that I don't agree with like any of this
but
stuff,
even further.
well, I shouldn't say I agree with most of it, but uh, like there's so much I disagree with though, like Terra Psychic and what else do I disagree with?
Time, then here's a
I usually, I guess I shouldn't say the speed one's always bad. That's a preference issue, but I think generally it's more useful to have like special attack, unless you outspeed them possibly and call mine before they attack. Then I could kind of understand that, or if you can still knock them out before they attack with speed booster energy, but that's probably not the case for
attacking
Iron Crown.
after even
So I think all these two analyses could be better, way better, and I think that those should be probably the main ways to use it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next video.